Don't think I've played this on stream yet. This is my newest Vetruvian Face Monkey build. It's basically a dervish deck. You have obelisks, 9 of them in this case, Ethereal, Lava Storm, and Fireblaze. You have Dunecasters, Whisperers of the Sands. There's staples like First Wish, Falcius. Then we get to the Spice. We've got a Portal Guardian. I wanted to squeeze more of these in, but he's a little vulnerable. But this with like some of the other cards in this deck. I mean, with Dervish, with Obelisks is quite spicy. With Whispers of the Sands, it's really nice. But what I really want to do is play it with Cataclysmic Fault. Like, that's pretty win more, but oh my god, is that a ton of damage. And then we have Science Third Wish, which I'm actually a big fan of as a card. One of Portal Guardian that's just cheeky. Oh, you're right, it's so cheeky. Like I said, I would like to play more of them. I did have a version of this deck with 3 of them in a previous set, but there's too many good cards now. Speaking of which, we have Skippy. Lost in the Desert, which I'm trying out this card. It's pretty good as face burn, as well as being able to clear out incautious opponents' minions. Spelljammer, Blood of Air, Gust, this card is amazing. Mirage, Imara Healer, and Fault. So like, the top end is basically all good stuff, and the low end is all Dervish aggro. And I think that makes a nice pairing. I think that is the sort of faction where like, their good stuff cards are so good and so versatile, like they fit so well in all sorts of decks, that it's pretty comfortable to build an aggro deck and then transition into a mid-range deck in the top half of your curve, because all these cards do tons of face damage. Like, or give you reach. You know, Imara Healer and Fault are great reach as well as being good grindy cards. I saw Nangut fooling around with a pretty aggro vet deck that ran Recombobulus with Lost in the Desert and Repulsors. That actually sounds worth doing. I'm trying to think what I can cut from this. Like, Repulsor plus this is basically a board wipe. And you don't need to stick a Thunderhorn to do it. So I could cut the Skippies. I probably should cut the Portal Guardian. Could shave the Mirage. If deck has Lost in the Desert, it should also have Thunderfall, Star's Fury, and some Blast. Break your opponent in mind games. That's an option. I'm not going for that here. I'm going for punching them in the face. And I just wanted to try out Lost in the Desert. But I do... Like, it bears mentioning, doesn't it? The deck Nangut was running had Thunderhorn and Projection too. That's some good memes. In practice, if you have just 2 Lost in the Desert, you actually don't need any synergy at all. I don't think so. Like, this card is fine. They will... I mean, you can do stuff like Blood of Air plus Lost in the Desert on 9. You kill all their creatures and hit them in the face for 8. Like, you can still, like, just trade plus Lost in the Desert. The card doesn't need that much setup, I think. Falcius Lost in the Desert. There's probably lots of lines. I'd like to see how the card performs by itself before going overboard on the memes. But I think Repulsor Lost in the Desert could actually be really good. Like, Repulsor is quite useful in a deck like this anyway.